Welcome, bienvenido. Today is Wednesday afternoon, and I still have disaster behind me because I'm still unpacking, so pay no attention to the bed and everything else. And today I decided to hop up in here, and the entire day I did not have a topic, and something happened during the afternoon, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk about that. If you are related to anybody with Alzheimer's or you are familiarized with the Alzheimer's epidemic, you will know that when you have one family member, and by family member I mean like parent, with Alzheimer's, it increases your risk of developing Alzheimer's by 25%. If both your parents had it, it can go up to 50 or more. Now, we don't have any proof that my dad had dementia. We have our suspicions, but then again, we had been warned that because of the leukemia, he would develop something that was very similar to Alzheimer's, which makes me think of, there's like 100 different types of dementia. So I'm pretty sure that's what the doctors meant. But, we got the information from my dad, and to be honest with you, I haven't researched it enough to know. And well, now he's gone, so I can't ask him. But the bottom line is that there's anywhere from a 25% to a 50% chance that I'll develop some sort of dementia before I'm done in this planet. Of course, a truck can kill me tomorrow and it won't matter. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when you have a situation like that in your life, it's kind of like when you buy a car and you've barely ever seen your car or the color that you pick or whatever, and then you buy it, and it seems like everywhere there's the same car because your mind is like concentrating on that. It's the same thing with Alzheimer's. So the one thing that kind of drives me crazy about Alzheimer's, specifically in the case of my mom, is that she forgets stuff. And I'm not talking about what happened yesterday or if you took your pills or whatever, because she has nurses that take care of that for her. What I'm talking about is the fact that it seems, and I could be wrong, but this is how I see it, and we have been able to test this a couple of times. It seems like my mom started forgetting stuff in 1990. Around 1990, 1991, everything from 1991 until now, it's pretty much forgotten. So she does remember my daughter, who was born in 1991. And of course, my mother was in the room with me when it happened because my daughter's father was out to sea. So he was in the Navy. So he wasn't there. So my mom took his place. She went through all the course with me and the whole 9 years, and she helped me deliver the baby. But I don't want to say 1991 specifically. It was somewhere in the 90s. And the reason why I know it's somewhere in the 90s is because if you ask her what day it is today, she'll usually go and say some crazy date, and then the year itself, she'll say 1995, 1996. So it makes me, and keep in mind that when you have Alzheimer's, for those of you that don't know, um, what happens is you get the first symptoms about 10, 15 years after you develop the disease. So that's why I'm thinking that she started developing the disease somewhere between 1995 and 2000, because all that time from mid 1990s to now, she doesn't remember. And so, and she thinks she's 60. So that's another reason why I think it's somewhere in the 1990s. And so what happens is when you see something every day, and I see my mom fairly regularly, what happens is you start thinking, you get a little hypochondriac is what I'm trying to say. So I've always been a little absent-minded, or a lot depending on who you ask, which is really weird because when it's something really important to me like work, it has never been an issue. But if it's anything else in life, I usually don't remember, except for birthdays. I remember birthdays like it's ridiculous how well I remember birthdays. But most things I forget. And so it was always normal for me to forget stuff. I'm the kind of person that I will have the keys in my hand and be looking for the stupid keys. That's how absent minded I am. When I started wearing contacts, I would take the glasses off, put my contacts on, and be all over the house looking for the glasses, and everybody would be like, "But you're wearing the contacts today." So so you have a perspective on the last 50 years. That's how I am. I've always been like that ever since I was a little kid. And it has something to do, the key thing has to do with the fact that when I was growing up, my dad would tell me that he was not going to give me a key to the house because I was very absent-minded and I would lose the keys. So I've always been obsessed with the keys, which is a problem because now it's like I'm obsessed with knowing where my keys are at all times. And it's been like that for the last 30 years. So going back to the situation, I last week I noticed when we were moving that I have come to the point where I get super upset about forgetting stuff. And the perfect example is I moved, but I didn't move apartment complex, which means to get home, I have to drive by the old apartment. Now, the way this apartment complex is, it's you take a left or a right and you go around a circle, and there's like 4, 5, 7, 8 circles. Okay, so when the apartment that I used to live at, it was like the first turn you took, that was the circle, that was where we lived. And the thing that was bothering me was that I kept going that way, and then like as soon as I turned, I would be like, why am I coming here? And then I would go around and go back to come back to the new apartment. Well, it got to the point where it started to getting annoying that every day I would do the same thing because I drive every day. And then one day, I think it was, can't remember if it was Sunday, Saturday or Monday, but it doesn't matter because the bottom line is that I realized that making myself upset and making myself getting paranoid basically about forgetting stuff was making it worse. I was putting more pressure on me not to forget stuff, which of course would develop into this whole thing where I would just lose my mind because I was forgetting stuff. And I gave myself permission to forget stuff. It's gonna sound really stupid, but the whole conversation might be a little stupid, but it's really important for me for you to get the message that when you focus on something negative, you tend to repeat it. I think the best example I can give you is if you're one of those people that curses a lot, and I am a horrible potty mouth when I'm not online. And it's one of those things that it really gets me upset that I cannot spend 20 minutes without saying a curse word. Okay. And the more you get upset about that, the more curse words you're going to say. And if you don't believe me, try it one day. Start focusing on whatever the bad habit is, and you'll notice that you keep repeating it and repeating it. Another example that I can give you, if there's a particular food that you're not supposed to eat or a particular thing you're not supposed to drink, the more you focus on the fact that you're not supposed to eat it or not supposed to drink whatever it is, the more you're going to drink it. And I can give you an example right now. I love Pepsi. It's ironic because in Puerto Rico, my favorite is Coca-Cola. For some reason, the bottling process, the shipping process, whatever it is, in Puerto Rico, the one that tastes better is Coke. And then when you're here, it's Pepsi. So, and it's for people that like that hit in the back of the throat when they drink the soda. I get that hit from the Pepsi. I don't get that hit from the Coke here. I just get sugar water and I can't stand it. So the thing about it is that I have been focusing on stopping the soda because I have a feeling it has something to do with the pains I've been experiencing lately. And I have this really weird theory that soda eats up the bones in the human beings. I don't know. Those are crazy theories that I get sometimes. But for some reason, I think that everything bone related, like the pain I get in my joints and whatnot, has something to do with my drinking soda. So I decided that after I got used to not eating red meat, the next thing I was going to drop was the soda. Well, normally when I decide to drop soda, I'm so focused on making sure that, okay, one, because I always do it gradually, I don't do it cold turkey. And I'll have like the first couple days, it'll be one day yes, one day no. And then when I'm used to that, I'll go 2 days no, one day yes. And so on and so forth. This time around, I said I'm just not going to drink soda, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I've been drinking water for the last 3 days. Now, The only reason why there's a Pepsi bottle in my fridge right now is because I'm getting the headache, and that's the reason why I don't go cold turkey with soda. There's certain things I can quit cold turkey. Soda's not one of them because I get the worst headaches in history. But what I'm trying to tell you is, this time around, I said on Sunday, this is my last soda, and I didn't pay attention to it. And the next thing I know, it's Wednesday, and I haven't had a soda. The only reason why I noticed is because of the headache. So I haven't drank it either. I thought I was going to have it for lunch. I'll probably have it for dinner. But the bottom line is, the only reason why I probably drink it is because right now I have a headache. I cannot even think straight. And that's the message that I want to give you today. It's not really about me forgetting or the soda or the meat or whatever. It's about the fact that whatever negative habit you're trying to get rid of, it usually helps if you stop thinking about it, which is why most experts will tell you to substitute one habit with another instead of just going cold turkey. Like, for example, when you quit smoking, they tell you to find something that you like to do with your hands, or they'll give you the fake, not the fake cigarettes, but there was this, they will give you something to put in your hands so that you would have the whole thing. And back in the day, I don't know how they do it now, but if you notice, experts in the matter, they will always tell you to substitute a habit with a habit. And I believe that's wise because they know that the thing is that you're focusing on the habit, and that's the problem. You'll keep the bad thing, and that's true for good things too. If you forget about something good, you're pretty much going to, if you don't focus on something good, you're not going to get it either. So my advice to you today is, and I don't know why I'm giving advice, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, but um my advice to you today is, if you have a bad habit, or if you're worried about something, the more you focus on that bad thing or the situation, the more is possible that it's going to happen. On the same token, if you want something really bad and you really focus on it, chances are that you're going to figure out a way of getting it because you're so focused on it. Anyway, that was my thought for today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night.